Release the sheep, they're going to capsize.
Oh my god, they are.
They've got the leeward backstay still on, the running backstay.
They're over. Hello and welcome to Venice. We're inside today because this morning it was pouring with rain and it seems to have stopped now. The sun's even come out.
Yeah, so we might get a chance to do a few outside jobs. I've been doing some inside boat jobs and as you've seen, watching the America's Cup. Hope you enjoy the film.
Coming up, we thought things were changing, but Venice is empty again. Boat jobs for winter. Steve has some success. And sailing round the world, we catch up with Don McIntyre, the master of retro racing.
We get a lot of questions about what it's actually like to live on a boat, so I'm going to go through a little bit of our morning routine. For me, that sort of starts with going round and wiping all the hatches. We get a little bit of condensation on the hatches here. You can't avoid getting some condensation, and we're actually really lucky. We only get it on the hatches and the portholes really first thing in the morning. Fiberglass boats are usually reasonably good. It's the metal ones that can be a real bugger. You know, it's a downside to metal boats. They've got to be really, really well insulated. My father had a metal boat, and you get it in the cupboards mainly. I mean, here on Fair we have got a very good system in that everything has this teak staving in all the cupboards everywhere. You still have to be a little bit careful with things like the shower. We have a good stand-up shower. I'd always say if you're going to live aboard a boat, get something with a good stand-up shower. It's got a seat in it. I mean, we're in a marina which has got, you know, really nice showers here. They've got a, you know, lovely glass roof. They're brilliant. But we, you know, get out of bed. Sometimes you don't want to walk down to the shower. You just want to have a little shower where you are. So, and if you're anchor, obviously you're using it all the time. So we do. But when we use it, we use this, which is a little dehumidifier. Just does a good job of getting that excess water out. Obviously, the other thing you need is good heating. We have hot air heating here. I'll switch it on. It's this bit here, that, and you hear it fire up in the engine room. I'll just turn the engine room lights on and we can show you what that looks like. So it's just there. That's the Webasto heater.
It's a diesel furnace that heats water which is then pumped all around the boat. There are radiators in the heads, but most of the heating is done via heat exchangers. Every cabin has a thermostat controlling the heat exchanger that heats air blown through vents into the cabins.
It doesn't use a lot of fuel, but I do make sure that I've got the forward tank, which is the one it comes from, completely topped up. The forward tank is 287 litres, and we did use all of that one year in Holland when we got iced in, but shouldn't use it all here, so that'll be fine. So time to get on with the day. It is a nice sunny morning though outside. It's warm up actually up here, isn't it? You're getting ready for yoga, are you?
It's lovely. Yeah, no, it's great. I just had my breakfast and I've been sitting here watching the vaporettos go by, watching the cormorants in the marsh.
Yeah, it is lovely because with this up you just don't get any wind in here at all, and it actually gets quite hot because it's cool.
Yeah.
The air temperature outside is what, 2 degrees?
Yeah, that's cold, and there's a sharp wind. I mean, that's the thing. If you go out and you can see things flapping around, then you know you're going to get hit. So snuggle up.
Yeah, good luck with the yoga then.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah, thanks.
Are you trying? Are these the new shoes?
Yeah, we got sent these shoes at Christmas. They're actually deck shoes because they feel like you're just walking around with bare feet.
Let's have a look underneath. They're the ones. Yeah, I've got a similar pair. They gave me as well.
They look quite peculiar, but they're
as slippers.
Brilliant. Yeah, no, they're slippers are good inside, but outside, you know, say you can walk around, but you can still feel the bottom, and they're really grippy. And I just thought I'll wear them to keep my feet warm in yoga. I'm not ready to take my shoes off.
Yeah, well, they're great
yet.
for me because I hate flip-flops and I just won't wear them, so they're perfect for me. Because we've got ones with holes in the bottom as well. One of their versions has holes in the bottom.
I think these have holes in actually as
Yeah.
well. You're
So
supposed
they
to wear them
drain.
with bare feet, but
Yeah.
I'm wearing socks as well.
Well,
How
we're British.
naff is
We're allowed
that? I know. Socks and sandals. Ooh, no, it shouldn't be done. Anyway, I'm off.
The skin of the face.
And I've got my own form of meditation. Metal polish. Go into all the stainless.
Steve is ever inventive with his use of marine equipment on the boat. So for this week's quiz, what is he using as a dumbbell? Whoever gets the right answer first will get a shout out in the next video. On the days when it isn't raining, we've been walking around the island of Chetosa, which is a public park, and there's quite a lot of building going on. These structures will be 2-storey apartments to let, and it looks like they'll be ready for guests by April. And this is going to be a restaurant area for street food. Exciting. Meanwhile, we need to go food shopping ourselves. One thing I always have to keep remembering is that you have to press the button here to request the stop for us. Otherwise they don't stop, which is annoying. Well, we've had one go past us once. Anyway, look, we have got grit on the walkway. It is extremely cold. Steve's waiting inside.
It's the warmest place to be, out of the wind.
And now the other thing I do, because I'm such an unbeliever, is I go and make sure that actually the light is shining. So that the request comes. Here we go. It is. And actually, I don't know if you can see it. I don't think you can. But I can see the thing coming now from behind us. So hopefully it will stop. And here's Steve.
Is it coming? It is coming.
It is, yeah, I can see
I'm
it.
just writing to Bill Hall, who's been trying to send me some fishing gear because he knows how bad a fisherman I am and how much I would need it. And sadly, it's been sent back, it looks like, from customs. Italian customs has been a bit of a bugger to get stuff through, so it's a real shame.
Sorry, Bill.
Yeah, thanks for trying, Bill.
And here it is. There's one going the other way going past. No one on it. And here's the one that should be heading straight for us. I think it is.
It's there.
No, over there.
So we're making the most of our shopping trips to have a little walk, because it's the only time we're really allowed out. We have to do 14 days quarantine back here, so we've got another 4 days to go, but we are allowed out to go to the shop. So we've come to the other shop. This time we're going to go down to Conad, which is the other direction from the one we went to last time, and that takes us through St Mark's Square. I'll show you. Look, this is coming up to St Mark's. Completely and utterly empty. This is a Sunday afternoon. Everything's shut. I think actually the restrictions are greater on a weekend in Italy than they are in weekdays, because they put everything in a red zone. It's the same as in the evenings. They have a curfew. So
There is one shop open.
is there one? Oh yeah. You can get a bag by the look of it.
Scarf?
And a scarf. I wonder why that shop is allowed to open. Bit strange. Anyway, we enjoy our walk. St Mark's Square, absolutely completely empty. And still got the Christmas lights going on in here, which is quite nice. There we go. Lovely. Yeah, everything. Everything shut.
It is still very strange to see Venice so empty, especially the historic landmarks that would usually be prime tourist attractions, like Cafe Florian, the oldest coffee house in the world.
Very closed.
Charles Dickens used to have tea here in Florian. Yeah.
Okay. Still going to Dior if you want to. Louis Vuitton.
Walking through the posh part of Venice, the Fifth Avenue of shops, we are surprised to see so many open.
No. People on the doors of each one. Absolutely no one going in there. Very, very strange. It's a Sunday as well.
You like my handbag?
You can buy a Prada handbag and Prada shoes, but actually I think I'd just prefer to stick to watching the Prada Cup.
Yeah, a few thousand euros later.
Yeah. Found a place for takeaway coffees. We are allowed to do takeaways. Oh, if the door's open.
I don't think it is.
They're lying.
Is there someone in there? I think maybe around here. At last, a welcome sign of life and quality Italian coffee.
Good. We're running short of these. We've got some very nice bottles of grappa. And limoncello.
It's one of my favourite.
Academia. Yeah. It's nice. It's different having a wooden bridge.
Yeah, it is.
Mouth of the Grand Canal that's usually really busy at all times, but yeah, not a single boat on the water. Normally actually you can't even get onto the side of the bridge here to look over, take a picture, because that's the shot. Oh, and there is one gondola. It's just in here, just rowing. For Sunday Row. So that's the classic shot, this one here that everybody takes, but not today.
Oh, I know.
No one here.
And it feels like you are all alone.
I think that's where Tommaso got his boat built.
Yeah, they're the people we talk to try and go and do some filming, but they're not actually doing anything at the moment. So yeah, if they reopen,
Yeah.
hopefully we better get in there and do some filming. See them being built.
That'll be great.
It's a lovely little place, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
One of my favourite buildings. It looks like it should be an Indian restaurant.
I don't think there is one here.
Go on, in England that would be an Indian restaurant. I'd love to know the history of it.
When we reach the supermarket, it is quite busy, and by the time we get onto the Vaporetto to return to Certosa, it's already getting dark. Outside boat jobs are having to wait at the moment because this is the norm. Lots of rain. So, like so many sailors in the Northern Hemisphere, our main entertainment is watching sailing.
Release the sheep, they're going to capsize.
This is the US boat American Magic having a less than magical day in the Prada Cup. Oh my God.
So it's nice to get some sailing action, even if it is on the telly. We'll be out there soon enough, but we do have to get our jobs done when we can. Got lots of outside jobs still to do. Our 90-day clock is now ticking as well. We've got to be out of Italy by April, thanks to Brexit. And Brexit's also mucked up getting things in. Our deliveries, even Bren from Pro Marines had trouble getting things into us. Customs is just a bit up in the air in the moment. No one knows what they're doing. But one thing we have got that I can get on with doing is the top sides. If people have been following, they know that our top sides have been going a little bit chalky. Now, we had a lot of comments when I was talking about top sides, and one of the things that people said to try, and I've researched it and it does look good, is a product by G-Technic, which is a nanotechnology thing where they seals the surface, this ceramic seal they call it. So I thought that was worth a go. So while we were in the UK, I got hold of some of that. So what I'll be doing, I'll do a technical video on this, is that I'll try half and half. So I'll do some bits in the traditional method with grinding paste and polish, and some of it with the G-Technic stuff, and we'll see how that goes. So that should be interesting. While I was on the phone with the technical chaps from G-Technic, I did ask them if they had anything for metalwork. If you remember, I've got some real problems with my Dorades. They just tarnish really quickly if you leave them on their own. And I tried to lacquer them last year, and that was a complete disaster, to be honest, because it just didn't work. And then I got to get all the lacquer off, which was a real job in itself. So they said they haven't got anything specific. They haven't made anything yet. They were developing something, but I could try this ceramic fast coat, which is meant for gel coat, but easy to put on. You just wipe it on, wipe it off with one of their special cloths. So we'll have a go at that. I mean, it's quite extreme to see if that's going to work, but I've got high hopes because this here is my compression post. And I coated it with the ceramic fast coat about, well, just over a week ago. And by now it would normally be completely full of fingerprints. As soon as you touch it, it gets these fingerprints that just go horrible. So I'll be trying to clean it again. And as you can see, it is absolutely perfect. So I'm doing the portholes as well. The portholes go a little bit sort of dark brownish after a while and just get marks on them. So I clean them up. I actually use their cleaner as well, their Metal Restorer polish, to clean them up, which is as good as the 3M's one. They're both much better than Brasso, which is what I used to use, so that's great. So I'm now going to go around them all and clean them all up with a Metal Restorer polish, and then just on the starboard side I'm going to put some ceramic fast coat on and not on the port side, and it'll be a good little test. We'll see if it keeps them from tarnishing for a bit. I really hope it does, because it saved me a lot of time.
We also caught up this week with Don McIntyre, who you may remember is the man behind the Golden Globe race. 50 years after Sir Robin Knox-Johnston became the first person to sail single-handed, non-stop around the world, 18 other sailors set off in similar small boats, without modern navigation, to do the same thing. 5 boats made it round in 2018, and in 2022, Don McIntyre is running the race again.
Well, you know, I mean, there's an interesting point. What event, what round-the-world race is the toughest or the biggest challenge, you know, the most extreme and all those sorts of things? Everyone lays claim to certain things. One thing I can say about the Golden Globe race, it's the longest, loneliest sporting event for any individual in any sport anywhere in the world. I mean, it's epic. They're out there for 10 months. They're completely on their own. They have no support whatsoever. They are really stretched for communication, so they're totally alone. It's not like the Vendée, and it's not like any other event anywhere, and that's extreme.
But what about Jean-Luc Van der Heide? I mean, at 73 to win it last time out. What was that like to meet him after? I mean, obviously we met him beforehand, but we haven't seen him since.
It's incredible. I mean, that was a huge story, and he's an amazing sailor. And having known Jean-Luc since about '82 or something, we've been mates for a long, long time. I was just so happy that he finally won a race. It was the first one he'd ever won. He was always coming second and third. But yeah, it was really amazing, and it surprised a lot of people, and it inspired a huge amount of people. He always has been very popular in France, and that just took it over the top. I mean, the people have been really interested. It's an epic thing for him, and it just showed, that age is just a number. As you know, I supported a young girl when she was 16 to sail solo around the world, Jessica Watson, and that showed people again that age is just a number. And you don't have to be superhuman to go sailing. If you can reef a sail and you can do a few bits, you don't have to be a gorilla. So you've got older people, you've got younger people, and they're still winning races, and that's good for everyone. So yeah, it's an amazing challenge.
One of the things about the Golden Globe race that's brilliant for me, as a sailor on an ordinary boat. I mean, we've got a similar boat to, although bigger. We wouldn't qualify. Otherwise, I would have done it. Obviously, I wouldn't, not in a million years. But a long-keeled, safe, proper old cruising boats is what they're using. And obviously, the good thing about that for cruisers like us is that these guys are out there in the Southern Ocean, testing them in the ultimate conditions.
The first lesson is every storm is different, and there's no set rule to how you set your own boat up in a particular storm, right? Now I got a pet subject here. It's the Ceres Drogue, right? I haven't got any hair left to pull out. Everyone assumes you buy a Ceres Drogue, put it in your locker, and you're saved. Now I've got nothing against Ceres Drogue, but that attitude is completely wrong.
No, it drives me mad. There are several quite respected, I know, yachtsmen that write vlogs and do all sorts of different things that say, oh yeah, Ceres Drogue, and they fail to mention the fact that you need a chain plate, the size of the thing that's holding your mast up to, to hold these things, and people think, oh, they can just tie it off somewhere. You really can't. Yeah. You can't retrieve them very well. But what happened with Susie? I mean, she had her drogue out at the time, didn't she? And it snapped. Did that was that something that was part of
the severity of the whole issue? Then was partly due to the fact that there was a manufacturing fault in the Ceres Drogue. What happened was when the boat went down, the boat went down, it was held by the drogue at the back on a big wave, and when she was right at the top, instead the line snapped. Okay. So it was like an arrow in a bow, and when it snapped right at the worst possible moment, and the steam line, the boat just slammed, more or less pitch poled and slammed down. She may have been better off in that particular instance not to have the drogue, right? Maybe not, maybe, who knows what. Certainly the line breaking didn't hurt anyone. They did a big investigation, and somehow, somewhere, someone tied a knot in it, and blah, blah, blah. So, and they solved that problem. So don't worry, anyone buying a Ceres Drogue, you're not going to break your rope. So that was a learning experience for everyone. But yeah, there's different attitudes, and my attitude is that there is no set course and no set formula. I'm an advocate of keep the boat moving, keep the boat steering if you can, and take it at an angle, take the seas at an angle, and ride with it.
I noticed Tapio, who that was in the last Golden Globe and was one of the finishers of that race, but he was obviously slowed by barnacles. He's down to do it again, and is also down for the OGI. He's bought a Swan, has he?
Yes, he's got unfinished business. He got crucified by someone putting the wrong paint on the boat. He understands it was his responsibility, but it was a nightmare. So he's coming back with, again for the GGR, and he has a beautiful Swan 55 Galliana, which he's entered into the 23 GGR. So while he's racing the GGR, his crew will be refitting Galliana for the OGR, and when he steps off at the end of the GGR, he'll have about 3 months break before he sets off again with a young crew around the world.
Can you enlighten us on what anti-foul he did use? Because it's obviously not one to buy. I mean, it always astounds me that a boat that's moving through the water full time got the amount of barnacles. I mean, that boat was covered, wasn't it? What was he putting on there?
Well, and there was a few had problems, and it was all because they didn't concentrate, basically. There was a story behind them all. But in Tapio's case, he was so busy and so frantic getting the refit done and so on. He put the order in for the anti-fouling, which needed to be the really high biocide anti-fouling and so on, but then didn't follow through with it. So when the guys went to buy the anti-fouling, they bought the anti-fouling for the Baltic, because the good stuff's sort of banned in the Baltic, because the Baltic is sort of half fresh, half salt, and blah, blah, blah. And so they put the weakest one you can buy on the bottom of the boat. So Tapio just left with the wrong paint. And the only guy who really concentrated, and he didn't use any super mix and it wasn't anything high tech, was Jean-Luc. He did everything by the book. He put heaps of coats on, the hard racing one to start with. Then he put the ablative ones on the outside on the basis the ablative will all come off by the time he gets through the Atlantic. And when he's in the Southern Ocean, it's so cold, it's not a problem. And then by the time he's coming back up the Atlantic again, they've got a long enough time to hang on. And he never swam on the boat, and he arrived and he had a few random barnacles, you know. So it's all the key three things that I always use every time. It's very simple: planning, preparation, execution. If you fail on any one of them, you're cooked. But if you get them all right, it's not rocket science, you know.
You have mentioned on several occasions your own sailing and the fact that you haven't managed to do a great deal of that while you've been organising all these races for other people. You're getting back on board, I gather.
I've always been impressed by little boat journeys, going right back to Willing Griffin in the Ostars in the 70s, and all sorts of little boat trips. And so we've launched a new class called Class Globe 580, right? And it's a 19-foot or 5.8 metre plywood box, specifically designed by Janis Smiderski, really cool Polish guy. We worked together on the concepts, and it's a serious ocean racing boat. It's got 3 watertight compartments, easy to build. Anyone can build it in their backyard. The whole concept is to be simple, strong, fun. It's good for club racing and good for fun, but it's seriously designed for the Mini Globe Race. That's the whole concept. And the Mini Globe Race, when you say you're going to race these boats around the world, they go, you're what? But honestly, it's completely achievable. The name of my boat is called Trekker, Trekker 2, after the original John Guswell Trekker, which was a little tiny boat, sailed around the world, no big deal. There's been plenty other little boats sailed around the world. We're going via the trade wind route, so it's across the Atlantic, Panama, across the Pacific. The biggest challenge will be underneath Cape Town and then around and up the top. It'll take about 15 months to get around. It's really like a race of attrition, you know, things will happen along the way. And it's very, very real.
So plenty of ways to sail around the world over the next few years then. Fast, that is, or slowly like we are.
Yeah, very slowly we're going to do it. I couldn't imagine what it would be like to do it non-stop. I mean, that's a hell of a feat to do it in the GGR. The other races, he's got the MGR, obviously they're stopping in the little boats, and he's also got a thing called the Ocean Globe Race. We're going to have a special which is going to go out the weekend with a long version of that interview where he goes into lots of details and really goes through what the Ocean Globe Race is.
And
basically.
Thank you, Don, for talking to us, by the way.
Oh yeah, it's fantastic. It's always great talking to Don. He's such a good talker. But yeah, the Ocean Globe Race is the Whitbread race. So it's in boats like Swans, which is mainly they were mainly Swans in those days they were using. If you watched episode 3, we interviewed a Norwegian couple who are sailing around the world in their Swan. So these are ordinary boats. So it's really interesting from that point of view.
And it's the owners who are actually going around themselves, as Don said. So it's the owner of a boat putting him or herself forward, getting their crew together. Yeah. Off they go.
We see how they kit it up, what sort of gear they use. It's all going to be really good stuff. America's Cup, obviously, other end of that's the Formula One of racing. Amazing that what happened to American Magic there, but they're still in it. They're going to get that, and what a story that will be if they can come back this close to sinking. If they can bring that boat back. Yeah, that will be an incredible story for them. I mean, obviously, we're Brits. We're cheering on the Brits. It'll be an incredible story for us as well. It's been, I think it was 1857 the last time we won it. Really? The last time we had it. Yeah, I mean, it's been that long, and the Americans have had it pretty much for the whole of that time.
Oh, it's only fair then.
I don't think Ben Ainslie will see it that way. And Ben, I mean, it's a massive asset for us. He's obviously one of the best sailors in the world. He's already a knight. I think they'll have to make him a god if he wins this.
A saint.
Okay, that'll do. I'm sure he'll take that.
Anyway, the competition. Should we give the competition? Sam Lyles was the first to say.
Yeah, he got it right. He's one of our patrons, so a little bit of an advantage. And the question was, what was happening here? Luigi's pulling a rope, but what does it actually do? The answer is it was raising and lowering the bow thruster. Amels, I didn't realise this happened actually. Amels at that age had a manual bow thruster that you could actually pull a rope to pull it up and down. They're pretty much all electric or hydraulic now to put them up and down, if they're not like ours, which is just a blow-through one, which doesn't have any moving parts. It's just there all the time. But these things, you know, they just reduce the drag a lot. So a lot of these boats that want a bit more speed, they have them.
And quite a few people did get it right in the end. So next time we'll have 2 winners. One will be from our patrons because we think they have a bit of an advantage.
They do. They
get the film first. and one from someone when it goes out on a Thursday, when the video goes out on a Thursday. So we'll have 2 winners next week.
It's a bit harder, I think. It's a bit harder this week. So I'll give you a slight clue, is that if you've watched our technical videos, you might not expect me to have one of these things on board.
But we have.
But we have, obviously.
Anyway, so that's it from us at the moment. See you next time, and thank you for watching.
Thanks for watching.